It's a rather quiet morning. Yesterday there were a lot more songbirds. There was a lot more life moving. It's getting colder. We got a storm coming in. Not really a storm, a few inches of snow followed by some nasty cold. But it's still nice to get out and just enjoy nature. Or let the domestic life follow you around. Levi's a great help, but I think he just wants fed again. You can hear the traffic way off in the distance, and here comes Levi. Hi, Levi. What do you think? I don't know if I'm getting a good shot of that or not. Oh, well, here comes Poppy. Poppy followed me out to the woods as well. I don't know if Poppy will climb the tree or not. Hi, Poppy. But Levi's happy. As I look through the things that I need to get done today, I'm reminded that I've got a lot of old trees on the farm. You can see that large branch down. 25 plus years ago, I used to hunt out of that tree. I'd climb the tree. There was a branch I could grab up on, pull myself up in there and just wait. One morning I had a bunch of raccoons climb up the tree. Scared the living daylights out of me at 5:30 in the morning in the dark to have raccoons climbing up the tree. But it's falling apart. So one of the things on today's agenda is to try to work to save my grandmother's old crabapple tree. I'm reckoning it's probably 70 years old. Maybe more than that. I'm not sure. That was there when I was a kid, and I used to love climbing it. Just like Levi likes climbing. But I want to save some wood before we have this cold snap and make sure, because the buds are swelling, that I don't lose everything. I think I'll pull the eggs out from underneath the geese and try to put them in the incubator. They'll lay more eggs, but this cold snap could destroy the eggs. It's still awfully early to be laying eggs. So we'll see how the day goes. Let's see what we can get done. Nature has a way of surviving. I just feel bad for my daffodils. They're coming up all over the farm. Unfortunately, the weather forecast Thursday and Friday night, we're down into single digits. This is a crabapple tree that my grandmother planted. I'm guessing somewhere in the mid-1950s, maybe sooner than that. I remember as a kid, back in the 70s, climbing the old tree. But she's seen better days. She got overgrown a lot of years, and I've tried bringing her back, but I don't think that's quite possible. She started growing a sucker, but that sucker's not doing too well either. When you look at the old tree, I can remember that being a hole when I was a kid. It just continues to get bigger and bigger. Been around for a long time. But unfortunately, this one branch is high enough. This one branch is high enough that if the fork finally decides to split, it will end up on the seed starting greenhouse. We've got some cold weather moving in today, so Levi and I are going to get up there to the higher branches and get some twigs off. Try to do some cuttings, and also I have a friend that's willing to help me try to do some grafting. What do you think, Levi? Do you think we should get this job done before it gets cold? Well, we've trimmed up some branches. A lot of the tree is really starting to die on me. And it has been a very long time since I've tried to do hardwood cuttings. Softwood cuttings, yeah, they're a little bit easier. But it has been a long time since I've tried these. We'll see how we come out. The geese must know something's awry too. They've been very noisy today. I think here in a little bit we're going to go out and collect the goose eggs that they started laying and move them into the incubator. We've got low temperatures coming that are going to put us down in the single digits, which is not terribly unusual this time of year, but after the winter that we've had, or lack thereof, this year in Indiana, it's probably best if I try to grab those eggs and put them in an incubator and hatch them out myself. I know when it comes around to their eggs missing that they will start laying again. So not only will I have whatever eggs that I hatch in the incubator this spring, we'll also get eggs that they'll set and hatch for me. So no loss there. As I said, it has been a long time since I've done hardwood cuttings, and I had a lot more eyesight back in those days. So I have no idea how this will come out. Figure it's worth a try. The tree's been there for 70 years maybe, and lots of good memories, kind of part of the family. A lot of the trees on the farm are 100, 150 years old, and watching them fall apart is sad and depressing. The emerald ash borer came through and wiped out. Let me grab another stick. The emerald ash borer came through and wiped out maybe 25% of my woods, killing off those ash trees. And so I've started collecting seeds for some different local species in hopes that I can get some more diversification on the farm. I hate to see my crabapple tree disappear though. Every year, some years better than others, when she produces apples, I can make a nice crabapple jelly. And all I need are two ingredients: the crabapple juice and sugar. There's enough pectin in a crabapple that I don't have to add that powdered stuff or that gel stuff that I purchased at the store. And I always remember Grandma making it. I also remember some things that Grandma made that weren't too tasty. Mom always made banquet chicken. Growing up in the 70s, it was still the era of frozen foods. And so I thought fried chicken looked like the stuff that came out of the box. I was maybe 7 years old, and Grandpa raised chickens and rabbits and dairy cows. Used to love playing with them. Well, we sat down to dinner, and Grandma made fried chicken, so she told me, and everybody else in the family kept quiet. I thought it looked rather funny, but I thought, well, maybe this is what real fried chicken looks like when you don't get it from a box. It tasted a little bit different. It was a little more chewy, and kind of find out it was those cute white rabbits that Grandpa raised in the barn. I was mortified and upset, and still to this day, almost 45 years later, I'm not real thrilled that I was tricked. But needless to say, I've done that with venison before with other people, so I guess what goes around comes around, and I just learned a lesson to get other people to try. I'm gonna grab another branch here. I kind of got tangled up on me. I'll grab two. Right now I'm just taking off, for the most part, the growth that I can tell happened in the last year. It has a little bit of a reddish hue to it. I know it's still alive. A lot of the branches are just dying. As you can see, the condition of that tree was not great. Okay, I think I'm just going to try these. I've got a pot here that I filled up with a soilless mix. I've got my water for, I'll make you dizzy here. I've got my pot of soilless mix. I've got some water to dip my twigs in. I've got my take root stuff, just kind of a generic brand that I can get locally. My pencil and some water. I've already watered my dirt, and Dolly's helping me today. Right, Dolly? She's usually outside, not in the greenhouse anymore. Okay, let's see here. We're going to get these wet. I guess before I do that, let's get some of this rooting powder out. Got a fresh batch of it. Some of the other stuff was a little bit old. I'm gonna stick it in a separate cup so I don't contaminate. Whoop! Get it all over me. Don't contaminate the rest of it though. I've got a bunch of black raspberry brambles that I'm also trying to do today. And dip it in the water and roll it in this stuff. I want to get a couple nodes covered with the stuff. And I'm going to take my pencil and put a hole in the pot. Sorry guys, I'm not real good with this video stuff yet. I'm trying. Okay, I think I'm going to stick all my twigs down in the water instead of one at a time, and then pull them out. Videotaping on a phone is an interesting challenge. Okay, here's a nice wet one, and the powder sticks very nicely to it. I think I need a taller cup. And got a whole bunch of them here. There's no sense in, I guess, watching them all. Punch a bunch of holes in here because I've got quite a few twigs. As I said, I'm not an expert on this. It's been a long time since I've done it. But that tree is rapidly deteriorating in the last few years. If I want any chance of saving, I figured I better get busy this year. This afternoon and this evening, we're supposed to start getting some snow, which is a good thing with those flowers that are coming up. Levi, come on. I got quite a few twigs here. Yeah, I just need one. If one will survive for me, that'll be great. And I'll put some in the refrigerator, and we'll see if we can find some rootstock. This one looks a little too big. Some of these holes are hard to see. Black on black. There, we're getting her. Looks like I'm going to have about the right number of holes and the right number of twigs. I've got a good bit. After I get done with putting the twigs in, I'm going to give it a little more water, take it inside in a cool location, and cover it with plastic, keep it good and humid, and see what comes of it. Yeah, there's one more hole right there. Sprinkle the rest on. I got plenty of it. I bought a couple jars. There. Now add a little more water to the pot. From them in. There we go. I don't have a towel out here for the fingers, but as you can see, there's our pot. And we'll see if we can get some started back off of that old tree. Okay, on to the next project. Well, I'm not really looking forward to pissing the geese off today, but in order to save these possible goslings, save the eggs from the single-digit temperatures, we're going to give it a try. See how it goes. I still have bruises from the other day when I decided to show the eggs off. I don't want any more. Well, that didn't go as badly as it could have. It didn't go bad at all. Now we'll put everybody out and let them do some swimming before Mother Nature decides to freeze the pond over. Yep, I've got the old incubator filled up. Ended up with one less egg. We had one that was cracked. I've got X's on the top and O's on the bottom, as a couple times a day I'll need to turn them like the mother would. When she's sitting on her nest, she'll rotate them and keep them moving around. That keeps the baby chick from getting stuck on one side as it develops, and some other issues, but it's the way nature does it. I do not have an egg turner for this size of eggs, so I have to do it myself. The chicken eggs and stuff that will hatch on the farm, I've got an automatic turner that takes care of that. So we'll let these guys warm back up in their new home, and for the next 28 days I'll watch them closely and see what happens. Thanks for taking the time today to spend a few moments with us on the farm. We all enjoy a little extra company on the farm. If you found us the least bit entertaining or educational, please take a moment and click the like button. If you really liked us, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.